A vintage Egg-cellent Easter collaboration is hosted by Buckeye Girl Decor and Lifestyle, the Grace Life DIY Home Decor, Annalise Cupboard, Pretty DIYs, DIY with Aurea, The Robin's Nest by Terry, Up All Night DIY, Vintage Bee Design, and Stella Rose Boutique, and I guess me, Z9 Designs. So be sure to subscribe, like, and save and comment on these women's channels. They are so kind and sweet, and they have excellent DIYs on their channels. And show them some love. Their channels are listed in the description box below. In addition, follow all of the other collaborators that are in the playlist. They would like your support also. The link to the playlist is in the description box below. My first DIY is a mason bunny jar. The supplies needed include a mason jar, pink and white chalk paint, a black permanent marker, felt for the ears. You can use a pom-pom for the tail and the back if you like, and a flower for the jar. Make sure the jar is clean and start out by painting it with pink acrylic paint and then let it dry. Then the second coat is white chalk paint mixed with a little pink acrylic paint. Brush that on and let it dry. Then the last coat is another shade of pink acrylic paint. You may have to touch up some areas that did not want to take the paint. Lastly, cut some bunny ears out of felt and slightly fold them over at the bottom. Then glue them to the outside of the rim of the jar. Take your black permanent marker and draw on some eyes, they're just round, and a nose and a mouth. And display it any place in your house. This is nice for you to possibly do with your grandkids. And I happen to have a flower pot with a rose in the center that fit perfectly in the opening of the jar. I think it looks really cute. DIY number 2, a vintage Easter egg. The supplies needed include 1 plastic Easter egg, old book pages, Mod Podge mat, Mod Podge and gloss, and some black drop stickers. This egg had washi tape on it, and I tried to remove it and couldn't, so the best idea was to cover it with book pages. I began smothering it with matte Mod Podge and began laying pieces of torn book pages and laying them across the egg. Now, if I did this again, I would recommend just applying a small amount of Mod Podge and let it get a bit tacky before laying the paper on the egg. And this was probably because it had the washi tape on. Now, if you're doing a plastic egg that is bigger or whatever, what I would do is probably paint it white and then apply the book pages to it. I think it may stick better. But after it was dry, I applied the gloss Mod Podge over the egg. Then, after that was dry, I began putting on some black teardrop jewels around the egg. And that's it. Very simple and very vintage. My last DIY is a vintage Easter card. The supplies needed are cardstock in cream and yellow, some faux tiny flowers in different colors, sticky tape, and a free vintage picture from the internet. And of course you have to have a printer. And I printed the image on cardstock and a Happy Easter stamp and black ink for the stamp. Now you can make an Easter vintage card using very little supplies. What you will need is a 5 by 3.5 cardstock paper. If you don't have that, you can take a sheet of cardstock paper that is 7.5 by 5 1/4 and fold it in half. To make the border, all you have to do is cut a piece of yellow cardstock and cut it 3 1/8 by 5 inches and use sticky tape to adhere it to the card. Then print out the free vintage picture and paste it onto the yellow cardstock with sticky tape. You can add the faux flowers that are muted pink, muted blue, muted green, and muted lavender. Hot glue was used to adhere it to the paper, and a happy Easter reflection on the inside of the card. It is so pretty. Let me know what you think. Well, that is all, Z9 Design family. I am so glad you stopped by to see what I made. I am almost at 900, thanks to your support. Be sure to subscribe, like, save, and comment so you can be entered into the drawing when I get to 900. Also, check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And remember, John 13:34 says, "A new command I give you, love one another as I have loved you. So you must love one another." See you later. Bye-bye.